everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So excited to connect with you as always. Hello and welcome. My name is Rissa Vibes, aka Readings by Rissa, and I am so excited to connect with you today. We're here for another weekly reading every Sunday, 1:11 p.m. Central Time. I jump on here live on YouTube to connect with you and share with you all of the spirit messages I'm receiving as an intuitive and professional intuitive coach, to allow us all to navigate our upcoming week with ease, with grace, and with our own intuition, moving ourselves forward first. So I'm super excited to connect with you today because we're not only going to cover all of the weekly updates for the week to come, but we are also going to talk about the new moon in Virgo that's happening on Thursday. So lots to discuss, lots to jump into. Please feel free to settle in, take a couple deep breaths, get yourself centered, relaxed, and in tune with yourself as we dive into the energy of this week to come. Also, feel free to let me know how you're feeling today. It's a new day. We're here. A new week is about to start, and I would love to hear how you're feeling and where you're tuning in from. Also, if this is the first time that you've ever tuned in for a live reading, thank you and welcome. Again, my name is Rissa Vibes, and I am an intuitive and intuitive coach, which means that I help all of the spiritually curious people that I come into contact with. I help them to navigate their enlightenment path, and I also help them to activate their intuitive gifts if they are up for it, if they're open, if they're eager to learn. So I'm excited to be here for you, to connect with you every week, and to bring you into this community of this beautiful web of light that we have created to help us all stay connected to our own inner being and the way in which we can use it to navigate our lives. So I'm super excited to jump into the week this week. But first, I always like to do a little review of what cards I pulled last week so that we can be fully aware of everything that we are moving through and moving forward in. So last week, at the beginning of the week, I pulled the Divine Intelligence card. So reflect on the ways in which Divine Intelligence showed up for you at the beginning of this week. Really feel into all the ways that you were able to connect to your inner being, to source, and just the ways that you somehow knew how to work through a problem or get to the next step of something or create a new experience for yourself. Allow yourself to focus in on that for a moment, because we did pull that Divine Intelligence card last week at the beginning of the week, and that really showed up for us. And then in the middle of the week, I pulled the Actor card, and this was really about being true to you and also understanding that, you don't have to be different than who you are. You can be true to who you are. You don't have to be an actor in your experience. You can be your authentic self, and to recognize in the areas where you may not be fully expressed in your authentic self, and to reel that back in and to discover that. It also can discuss the energy of your multidimensional self, knowing that there are different versions of you that may want to be expressed, and maybe you're hiding parts of yourself away and not allowing yourself to shine fully through. And then at the end of the week, for the weekend, I pulled the Dreams card, and the Dreams card really let us focus on our dreams, our goals, and it also encouraged us to notice how our dreams were unfolding when we sleep at night and what was coming up in our dreams, because our guides, our inner being, has been speaking to us through our dreams, through symbols and synchronicities, and just these kind of aha moments that we needed to help us get through certain things in our life. So that was our review of last week's cards. Lots of energy last week. This week, we have, like I said, a new moon in Virgo on the 17th of September, which is Thursday. So we're going to talk about that. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the spirit messages. The spirit messages of this week are going to be all the messages that I received from downloads, meditations, and just connecting to the Mass Collective throughout the week to feel into what was to come. So I would love to jump into that, but I want to check in on all of you and see how all of you are doing. Who's joining me today? Let's see. We've got Gayton here. Good to see you, Gayton. We've got Linda here as well. Hi, so good to have you here, Linda. And then we've got Leslie here as well. So good to see you. Oh my gosh, yes, and be careful with the fires out there, Gayton, for sure. We're sending so much love to the Northwest, so much light and protection for everyone over there. Meredith is here as well. What's up, love? Good to see you. Phil is here. Thank you so much for the super chat donation, Phil. Such a wonderful and generous donation. Thank you. And yes, a time to balance your spirituality and material bodies. Peace and love to all. I love that, Phil. And I'm definitely going to be talking a lot about that through the reading as well. Thank you. And Daniela is here. Good to see you. So wonderful to have all of you tuning in. And shout out to all of you who are watching on the replay. We love you and we are here with you as well, even though we're in this multi-dimensional experience. Some people watching live, some people watching on the replay. We're all still so connected as we connect and watch this video and just speak and vibe out together. So thank you so much for being here. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the spirit messages of this week. I have written down all my notes so that I do not leave anything out because I've been getting downloads on downloads on downloads from my guides throughout the last several days. Had some crazy dreams last night, lots of things coming through. So I'm super excited to share. The first thing I want to talk about is our health. This is going to be the biggest theme for our week this week. And our health is going to be highlighted in a lot of ways this week. And Spirit is going to do a really good job at showing us where our health is out of balance, what aspects of our health we need to focus on so we can get it back in alignment. And exactly like Phil said, this balance of spiritual and physical bodies, we have to understand that there's so much aspects of our health that are not just physical, but also spiritual, emotional, mental. All of these are going to show up for us this week and really let us know what we need to focus on. So we want to ground into healthy habits this week. We want to really align with the type of health and well-being that we want in our life. If you've been craving more physical health, start taking the steps to develop those healthy habits physically. If you've been craving more emotional health and emotional stability, then make sure that you're reaching out to the resources, educating yourself, or allowing yourself to align to more practices that will help you to develop that type of emotional health that you're seeking. This is important. And because it's such a theme this week, we are going to be tested on this. So there's going to be a lot of things that happen this week that are going to show us where we're not really healthy. And so you may have some triggers emotionally if you're not in an emotionally healthy place, so that Spirit can show you what's out of alignment and give you the opportunity to make the changes to get back into alignment. Same thing with mental health, same thing with physical health. So you may have some physical injuries show up, or some old pains that have never healed, or old wounds that have never healed surfacing, maybe knees, maybe joints, things like that maybe you've been ignoring for a while, and now it's time to really get focused on creating health in those areas. So make sure you're grounding into healthy habits that create the lives and the lifestyles that you want to live this week. This is going to be a huge week for that. And like I said last week in last week's weekly reading, this month in general is going to make or break us for the year. So if we choose to ignore the lessons or the tests or the advice and guidance from the universe that we're receiving, if we choose to ignore that this week, we're going to have a really hard time coming back from that by the end of the year. We only have a few more months of the year, actually about 2.5. And so we really want to honor that we have this opportunity to clean up our act in the areas that we need to clean up, so that by the new year, with that new energy starting 2021, we have a really strong foundation. And we've had so many resources from Spirit, from the astrology, and from Mama Gaia to help us create that strong foundation. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. So pay attention to this. And it might be a great idea to start journaling down, even right now while you're watching this, any kind of healthy habits that you want to start incorporating into your life, or any types of healthy aspects or well-being that you want to introduce more into your life, because this is going to be huge this week and you want to start now, okay? Now, we also want to look at our material world, okay? Our material world right now is very, very intense. There's a lot of things changing in our material world. We see the economic system starting to change and the value of the dollar continuing to drop in rapid rates. We see the coin shortage happening. So we're seeing all of these changes in the material world. We're also seeing, different trade routes being changed and rerouted and canceled due to all the things going on in the world. We're seeing lots of material things shift. We're also noticing that the way in which we buy things and consume things is shifting and changing because of, the scarcity mentality that's going on from the coronavirus and all of the ways in which we have to buy masks now and we're, cleaning supplies and all of these things are shifting. And so paying attention to the material world right now and paying attention to our attachments to material things and the material world is crucial this week. We really want to focus on what are we attached to in the material world that is not serving us or that is actually distracting us from our true selves or our true goals and purpose in this life. So if you're attached to, crazy shopping sprees and you never end up wearing those clothes, this might be something that you want to reel in. If you're kind of attached to maybe, I don't know, there's so many things you could be attached to, like buying a ton of shoes, right? Or, hoarding food, and maybe you hoarded the toilet paper during all of the pandemic stuff and you got really attached to this feeling of scarcity, like you're not going to have enough. Maybe that's something you need to look at and recognize what the attachment is there. These are the things that we want to pay attention to because our attachments to the material world are also telling us about our well-being spiritually. If we are in a place of over attachment to the material world, then we're not really relying or trusting in or connecting to the spiritual world in a balanced way. We're too balanced in the 3D or too balanced in the physical, too out of balance in the material. And we need to bring that back into some of that spiritual connection. So allow yourself to notice what's out of balance there. What is this? What is the universe? What is spirit trying to convey to you through you recognizing your material attachments? This is going to be a very big set of information and wisdom and messages that you're going to receive from spirit on this. And you want to check it. You want to say, maybe the shopping spree for the clothes is helping you develop your brand or helping you develop your styling business or helping you, create a certain portfolio for your photography. That would be, of course, alignment to your true purpose, alignment to your true self. So make sure you're paying attention to that. You don't have to cut off all of your attachments to material items. It's just about being more conscious, looking at things from a bigger picture perspective and saying, is this in alignment with what I want in my life and what I need in my life and what is going to help propel me into more of my purpose and more of my true self, okay? Now, with this being said, there is still some discomfort, okay, that comes in letting go. And we've been in this huge transformation period for several weeks now, really several months since the beginning of the year when the stellium happened, that huge conjunction with Capricorn and Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter. Oh my gosh, it's just been so intense, right? We saw the coronavirus hit and then everything else after it, and it just hasn't let up, okay? So we are already feeling all this transformation, and in that transformation, we've had to let go of so much comfortability, so much of what we're used to, so much of what, we feel that keeps us safe and feeling secure. We've had to let go a lot of that, and it's been really rough. And this week, we're going to continue dealing with that discomfort in a lot of ways because we are letting go of those unhealthy habits. We're letting go of the unhealthy imbalances in our life, and we're also being shown them. And when we're shown them, that is not fun. It's not fun to see how unhealthy your mental stability has gotten over the years because you've ignored it. It's not fun to see how far you've gone from your goal physically because you've ignored it. It's not fun. It's not comfortable. But I don't want you guys to get discouraged. I don't want you to feel like you're defeated. I don't want you to feel like this is an attack from the universe and you're just being thrown all of these horrible, feelings and thoughts and experiences. No, these are opportunities. And remember what I said last week, you want to turn your obstacles into opportunities throughout this entire experience we're going to have with Mars retrograde. Mars retrograde lasts for 80 days. We're on like day 5 or something of Mars retrograde, right? Because it's the 13th. So we're actually on day 4 because it happened on the 9th. So we're moving through, but it's just now starting to rev its engine. It's just now starting to build momentum. So we want to be really kind to ourselves. We want to be really gentle with ourselves. And we want to really honor the fact that everything we're experiencing is showing us something about what we're attached to that is not serving us. And it's also showing us how to surrender, how to get still, how to slow down, and how to let go. Let go of things that are heavy, let go of things that are holding you back. And this is going to help us move into the new paradigms I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. We're going to continue to do that. This is a process. So this isn't something that's just going to happen in a week, and by next weekly reading, everything's going to be back to normal. No, it hasn't been for several weeks because this is a transformation period. It is a process. So take your time, honor the process, know that it's not going to happen overnight. Know that you can't just snap your fingers and make it all where you want it to be. You've got to put the work in, and that work is work. But it is so worth it because as you put that work in, you're going to start to recognize your power. You're going to start to recognize more of your strength, more of your resiliency, more of your purpose, more of your passion. You're going to start to learn more about yourself. You're going to start to learn how to feel into your intuition and into your heart center. You're going to love more. You're going to live more vibrantly. And that is going to bring you into where you've always wanted to be. So trust the process and let go of the doubts, let go of the fears, let go of the judgments of the process, and just honor the way in which you move through it. And know that every time you catch yourself on something, every time you recognize something else that you need to let go of, every time you acknowledge yourself for all the great hard work you're doing, you are doing that work. You are succeeding. Even if you might not see it in your physical experience, you are exceeding that energy in your spirit, okay? In the unseen realm. And that's why it's hard to trust it, because it's the unseen realm, but it does exist. It does, okay? And remind yourself of those times in your life where you have gotten proof and validation in your own way of that unseen world that exists beyond the veil. Really remind yourself of the signs and synchronicities you've gotten, of the miracles that have happened in your life, of the wishes that you've had that have come true, of the healing that you've seen happen within yourself and in other people who you thought never would ever have that healing. Let yourself recognize the miracles and let yourself let go of any of the doubts, fears, and judgments around them so you can lean more into that trust. Because remember, the September card that we pulled for the annual reading at the beginning of the year was trust. And so we are in the month of trust, and we've got to lean in, and we're also all being tested on that. So, there's going to be lots of opportunities for us to not trust, but what does that do for us? It only puts us in a lower vibration where we can't create from and where we're not able to hear our guides from. So we have to stay in a place of trust so that we can keep our vibration high. We can hear the inner guidance and the guidance from our source and from our guides, and we can follow that to the place we need to be. Otherwise, we end up in a place that just is completely lost and stuck, and we don't want to be there. So recognize that uncomfortability, lean into it, step into the new paradigms you're creating into your world and noticing it as you go. And also recognize our stubborn and rebellious egos that flare up when we start to make the positive changes in our life, because our egos and our shadow selves are going to be on fire this week, trying to fight all of the ways we are making ourselves better, because the ego and the shadow likes to keep us a little broken, likes to keep us a little vulnerable and scared so that it has a role to play. So it can be our big protector. So it can be our big savior. But the ego and the shadow is not our big savior. Our spirit is. And so we have to keep that ego and shadow in check. And we have to do that by just honoring the fact that they're going to be stubborn, they're going to be rebellious, but we are stronger than them, and we have to speak to them like we are. We have to really argue those thoughts in our head or those feelings in our heart that we know are linked to the ego and shadow. And we have to let our spirit get the energy and the strength by us investing more energy into it to fight those egos and shadow aspects off, okay? So just know that your ego and your shadow is going to be provoked and tested this week, but it's all based on how you will respond. That is what the most important thing is. How will you respond to the ego and shadow? Will you surrender to it? Will you let it win? Or will you fight it off and be victorious with your spirit? And I talked a lot about, the energy of just what you're focusing on and relaxing and not reacting last week. And so I still stand by this for the entire Mars retrograde is relax, don't react, because reaction causes friction, it causes explosion, it causes intense energy that doesn't need to be there. It's more important to respond, and we respond by observing, by relaxing, observing, and taking our time to connect before we offer a rebuttal. And that rebuttal is that response, because it's more graceful, it's more centered, it's more balanced than a reaction, okay? All right, so how is everybody doing? How are you feeling with all of this? Celestial Heart is here. Good to see you. Super happy that you're here as well. Oh, I'm so sorry that you lost your father on the night of the full moon. We are sending you so much love, Celestial Heart, and definitely such a good time for heart healing right now. We'll talk a lot about more of heart healing strategies as well. We're sending you so much love. And Simple Goddess is here as well. Mom died this year. Brother died last Sunday. Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. So much loss, so much, so much opportunity to heal right now, and that's why it's so important that we take our time through the process of letting go and healing, because whatever we're letting go of, whatever we're healing from, is such a journey, and we have to be kind and gentle to ourselves. I'm sending you all so much love for all of you who have lost a loved one this year or recently. This is part of the Mass Collective as well. We see, cycles of death in the world. We see cycles of birth in the world. And so, this is a cycle of death and rebirth. And so through this healing time from all the death and the loss that has occurred for all of us personally, in our communities, in the Mass Collective, we also recognize that there's a rebirth occurring within ourselves, an opportunity within ourselves to heal and to be a shining light for healing to all of our loved ones around us that also need that as well. So I'm sending so much love to all of you who are struggling right now through loss and letting go. And I'm really encouraging you, as I'm saying here, to recognize that this is a journey and to let your spirit win. Let your spirit help pick you up. Let your spirit give you that inspiration to move forward and to do something that's going to brighten your day, or that's going to help you, feel a little bit better, and allow that to be your experience, and keep pushing through as best you can through the journey, and you will be okay. Everything will work out. So the next message on here is really acknowledging our mind. We have a lot of opportunity as well to acknowledge our mind this week. And we acknowledge our mind by focusing, or by asking ourselves, what are we focusing on at any given moment? And if we're focusing on things that are causing us insecurity, causing us anger, causing us frustration or hopelessness, then we're focusing on something that our ego or shadow is saying, or if we're focusing on something that someone else in our life has brought into our experience, or another focus that isn't really valuable to us has gotten into our experience. And so we need to allow ourselves to release those things as well. And it's really hard to not see, it's hard to not feel that way when you're not seeing the physical results of your labor, if you've been trying to heal from something, or if you've been trying to manifest something, or if you've been trying to, level up in a certain way. It's easy to get into that place of feeling frustrated, focusing on what's not working, if you haven't seen the progress physically. But I really want to remind all of you, especially this week, that even though we might be going through struggles and obstacles, it doesn't mean that we don't have a lot of abundance coming to us. It doesn't mean that we're going backwards. It doesn't mean that we're failing. It doesn't mean that we're ruined or we're broken or we're completely hopeless. It means that the Mars retrograde is affecting us all, and we're being pulled back into observation, and we're being slowed down so that we can be present and really fine tune any healing or anything that's out of balance that we haven't had the time or opportunity to tune. So this is an opportunity. It's not an attack, okay? So really recognize that and notice what you're focusing on. Don't feel defensive if you're feeling like things aren't working the way you want them to go. Ask your guides to help you see things through your third eye. There's a lot of opportunity for us to see through our third eye and actually witness the abundance that actually is on its way to us, and to see things past the veil so that we can notice that, yes, our hard work is paying off. And we do that through meditation. We do that through imagining ourselves looking through our third eye as we close our eyes and breathe and let go of any other thoughts. We allow ourselves to connect to spirit when we do that, and we can ask spirit to help us connect more to our third eye and to also help us to trust in it, okay? So what are you focusing on? And make sure you're allowing yourself to redirect that focus whenever you need to. And that's where you will find the fruits of your labor when you tap into that intuitive insight. And preparing for harvest is really, this is a natural process because we're about to hit the harvest season. We're about to hit the fall solstice, and that's harvest season. And so it's normal for the farmer to get really excited about his crops and want to make all the money he's going to make from his crops and just want to pull up all of his crops out of the ground and start making the money now. But if he does that, those crops are not going to be ripe. They're not going to be ready. And he's going to lose a lot of money. He's actually not going to make the abundance that he wants. He's actually, or she wants. They're not going to do that. They're going to be too, it's going to be too beginning. Like, what's the word for like before, right? Like, it's going to be too early. It's going to be too early for that. So you have to be able to wait for your harvest. You have to be able to be patient. You have to be able to notice that you've planted those seeds. They're almost ready to pull out of the ground and make money off of and eat and enjoy and feast on, but they're not ready yet. So wait it out, okay? And in that process, you recognize, okay, I need to work on my patience, or okay, I need to work on, figuring out what else can keep me busy so I'm not so focused and obsessed on these crops, or I need to do some more work over here that I haven't gotten to do this year because I've been paying attention to all these crops, right? That's what the balanced farmer does, okay? So let's be the balanced farmer in this. What else do I have for all of you? There's so much to talk about. How are you all feeling? You all feeling good? Look at my uggos here. Good to see you, love. So glad you got to catch the live. I wanted to go to your event, by the way, but you sold out before I could sign up. So how at that? Good job, girl. I'm proud of you. That's so exciting. All right. So more to talk about. This is about fear. Okay. So I want to talk about fear because in this transformation, in this focus on letting go, in this ability to, surrender and slow down and observe and also recognize the tests, we really are having an opportunity to conquer our fears. And the only way to conquer our fears is to face them with faith, and face them with faith to overcome, to rise above, to be resilient. And we really have to trust. That all goes back to that card for September. So any fears that you're facing, conquer them through faith. Find out what kind of motivational video, or maybe scripture, or ancient text, or divine intelligence will help you to lean into faith and have more faith in whatever you're going through. Look those things up. Find ways to inspire yourself to trust more and to have more faith. And this will help you to face any fears that come up from these tests or from letting go or from the heart healing that we're experiencing with the new moon that I will talk about in just a little bit as well. We have so much to talk about. Almost done with the spirit messages though. So we'll be into astrology in just a little bit. So we're also building a solid foundation. I talked about this in the beginning of the year, how the stellium, the Capricorn stellium, everything in conjunction with Capricorn in the beginning of the year in January was all about recreating structure and stability in our life, tearing down systems, tearing down things that were not working and building them anew for a more solid foundation. We've seen that happen all summer. What's continuing to happen, it's a process. But right now we have been given a lot of resources to build our solid foundation within ourselves. And we've seen it through the elements, and we've also seen it through the astrology. We saw it with the Lionsgate portal activating this fire energy. We saw it with this earth energy of the new moon in Virgo that we're stepping in. We saw it with that full moon in Pisces that we had recently. There's this energy of earth, water, and fire. And what comes from earth, water, and fire? Well, when you mix water with earth, you get that mud, you get that compact paste kind of brick you can lay. And then when you bring in heat and fire to it, it solidifies that brick and creates a solid foundation. And all we need is a little bit of air. And we are going into Libra season soon, which is going to bring us some of that air to dry that foundation and really have it even more strong. So we really are being given the resources and the elements for structure and stability. And we want to use those. We want to recognize, the water is our emotions. The earth is our dedication to our healthy habits and our well-being. The fire is our passion and our exhilaration to continue moving forward. And the air is the ideas and inspiration and the aspects of our spirit that are leading the way. And then we also have, of course, the ether, which is that divine intelligence, that divine power, that soul experience and essence that is shining us to make everything that we're creating our own. So we really are stepping into more of that. And we want to be just aware of the ways in which we're creating those solid foundations and be grateful for them. Give yourself a pat on the back if you've been feeling stronger in certain areas that you've been working on, if you've been doing the emotional work, the physical work, the healthy habits, activations and all of that, because you're probably feeling that solid foundation strengthening beneath you. And that's a good feeling. Now, kindness is key. That's one of the last spirit messages I have for you. Kindness is key. And it actually goes into the other spirit messages, which is the last one, is honoring the spectrum of your heart. And we honor the spectrum of our heart by being kind to ourselves. And we honor the spectrum of everyone else's heart around us, especially our loved ones, by honoring them and being kind to them, even if they're being retaliative, even if they're going through something, even if they're having a hard day, because there's a lot of transformation happening and people are being reborn, and we have to be considerate and caring and compassionate to the way in which people are grieving, healing, and transforming right now, especially the ones we love, who we know their truth, and we're really here to help, support, and comfort. So be kind, honor the spectrum of your heart and theirs, and recognize how you can be graceful in however they're expressing from their heart, whether it's in a high vibration or a low vibration. And same thing for you. If you're in a high vibration, really honor that and give yourself that pat on the back and do the things to keep that and maintain that in your energy. But if you're in a low vibration, cater to yourself, recognize what you need, journal, have those internal dialogues with yourself on what the root of it is and how you can make the changes to do better, and be kind to yourself in the process, okay? All right, so those are all the spirit messages, lots and lots to process, and feel free to rewatch all of these throughout the week, because these are going to be huge, huge reminders for navigating this upcoming week with grace. Now, I want to talk about astrology. Astrology is huge this week as well. We have a new moon in Virgo on Thursday. But before we tap into that, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the other astrological influences before Thursday. On Monday, September 14th, we have the Sun trine Pluto. Now, Pluto is coming back a lot recently, and it makes sense because we are really in this place of returning to some of the stellium energy with Capricorn, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, all in conjunction in Capricorn. And so we're recognizing that Pluto's coming back with a rebirthing energy with the Sun trining it. And it's giving us more wisdom, and it's also completing some cycles for us. So we are letting go of some things. We are transforming very intensely with this energy on Monday. And we're probably, a lot of you are already feeling it today. And this is also a purging energy. We're purging things that don't serve. We're purging old emotions. We're purging old expressions. We're purging our old selves, which means that our old selves, the parts of us that we don't want to be attached to anymore, they're showing their ugly head. They're showing us why we don't want to be attached to them anymore. But that's good because we're remembering that, we're getting wisdom from that, and we're really letting that purge do its thing so we can fully complete the letting go process so we can step into our rebirthing. So no resistance. Allow yourself to purge what you have to purge. You've got to get through it in order to move and gain from it. And this is a lot of our unconscious, our unconscious selves is surfacing. So pay attention to the symbolism there, pay attention to what's been hidden, what's being revealed, and also pray to your guides, pray to your higher power, pray for your inner being to really continue the purging process with grace, and bring intentions into your prayer so that you can really be specific about what you want to feel through this process and how you want to move through it with grace. Then on Tuesday, the 15th, we have Venus squares Uranus. And with that, we're going to be awakening more to our divine feminine energy. This is going to be another level up of our intuition, another level up of our creative power consciously, another level up of our soft and sincere, sensual kind of just this beautiful kind of sweet energy of the divine feminine as well. And this is also going to bring us into some focus on our divine love energy. Beauty and pleasure is going to be amplified here. It's going to be important, though, to avoid drama because the Mars retrograde is happening, because we have all this transformation. The ego and the shadow might want to attach to drama right now. So channel that into creativity instead. It will do you so much better than to jump into drama and cause a bunch of friction and reactions that aren't necessary. So don't resist change either, and explore anything that you're really interested in, curious about, things that you're wanting to learn, because that's allowing you to lean into the mystery of this energy of Pluto and really move with the Venus energy and your Uranus energy as well, of this kind of connection to the beauty and the higher mind aspect of the mystery of Pluto. So Monday and Tuesday's astrological events really blend well together by balancing each other out. And then on the 17th, this is Thursday, our beautiful new moon in Virgo. Are you all ready to jump into this? This is a big one. So first of all, with the new moon in Virgo, we're recognizing that Virgo is a earth sign, okay? And I talked about Virgo last week because technically we were in Virgo season last week, and we are a bit behind astrologically with the new moons. And that is just a testament to, the way in which this transformation is really affecting everything, and actually the way in which the astrology is creating this transformation. We all feel a little bit behind, and the stars are showing us that as well. And so we want to recognize first that this grounding energy of Virgo is helping us to connect to our true core. And in that, we are moving through some realizations of our culture, of our connections to our roots, of our traditions, of our ancestors, and of the earth element of our spirit. And so that is a really strong message. I very much encourage everybody to do some research on your ancestors, to tap into cultural aspects of your traditions, and also really learn and identify what you feel are your cultural ideals, and start to get clear on that, because this is a time for us to notice that. And actually our STARSEED meditation yesterday brought that up for us in a big way. The Pleiadians, the heart-centered, the heart healers of the galaxy, They brought forth the card sharing cultural ideals yesterday, encouraging us to identify that, encouraging us to connect to our culture, our heritage, our roots, our ancestry, and learn the cultures of those divine connections that we have, and to start to identify our own cultural ideals from that awareness and wisdom. We also connected to the galactic core yesterday during our Starseed meditation. We got that card we pulled as well, which was amazing. Lots and lots of energy activations with that meditation. And then we also pulled the guilt card during the Starseed meditation yesterday, really encouraging us all to release guilt and to let go of any guilt type attachments that we see in our lives, because that is not a part of the 5D. It's not a part of the new paradigm. It's not a part of what we want to create in our new lifestyles. So we've got to let go any attachments to guilt. That includes making other people feel guilty for things. Okay. So I say all of that because this is really dealing with a Virgo energy of heart healing. And we're going to be doing a lot of heart healing with this Virgo new moon on Thursday. And you're all probably starting to feel it in your own way already, especially if you have a lot of heart healing to do. This can also be expressed through painful memories that are surfacing, trauma that's surfacing, inner child healing that's needed. I did post an inner child healing meditation on YouTube. If you go to my recent video uploads, you'll see it. It's a little bit blurry because I couldn't get it clear on the app that I was using, but it is a great meditation for inner child healing. And that is going to be really helpful for any heart healing as well. So the new moon in Virgo is going to encourage us to dig deep into our roots, dig deep into our true selves, and heal our heart through our awareness from the ways in which our ancestors have had to heal their hearts, the ways in which we carry some of that pain as well, and the ways in which we also express our own versions of heart healing needs and requirements in our life. So this is pivotal for us. We want to be kind and gentle again with ourselves. I really want to stress that during this time. And in regards to the astrological aspects, I'm going to just list off a lot of the characteristics, but I'm going to go into more of an intuitive read on all of this as well. But first, I'll do the astrological events. So Virgo is in 25 degrees. The new moon in Virgo is 25 degrees. The moon and the sun are trine to Saturn during this new moon. And this is another stellium event coming through because Saturn was also a part of the conjunction to Capricorn in the beginning of the year. And now the moon and sun are trining Saturn during this new moon in Virgo. And we see this energy of responsibility, masculinity, maturity, and really understanding a balance in that, and a balance from the patriarchy as well. And so that is really a big part of what Saturn is representing as it trines the sun and moon. And then we also have Mercury. We have a ton of squares. First of all, we just have a ton of squares in the astrology for this new moon. And the squares are all our healing opportunities. I would say healing obstacles, but remember what I said last week, we're turning obstacles into opportunities. So these are healing opportunities. Okay. So the first healing opportunity we have is Mercury square Jupiter. And Mercury square Jupiter is all about expanding love in our communication and allowing ourselves to get really clear on how our communication isn't loving. These are our healing opportunities to clean up our communication and to bring more love into our communication. So we're going to notice where we're not being very loving in our expressions to ourselves or to others. And we're going to be encouraged to heal from that and clean up our act. Mars is at square Saturn is the next healing opportunity we have. Mars square Saturn means that we are taking more responsibility for our drive, for our dedication, for our maturity, for our actions moving forward. So we're going to notice where we're not or haven't been mature in those ways. And so this is an opportunity for healing that and moving forward in a more positive, more mature, more responsible way from that Mars square Saturn. Then the next healing opportunity is Venus is Mars square Pluto. There's Pluto again showing up, and we've talked about this a little bit. We've got the Sun trine Pluto on Monday, and then we've got Mars squares Pluto with this new moon on Thursday. And so Pluto coming back with that stellium connection, like I said, that rebirthing, that wisdom, that completion, that letting go. And Mars squares Pluto, the healing opportunity there is simply rebirth through action. We've got to implement those healthy habits and act on them in order to create a rebirth, a full rebirth into what we want to create, a new lifestyle, a new essence of ourselves. All right, next healing opportunity. This is the last healing opportunity in the new moon in Virgo, is Venus square Uranus, okay? And this is where we find our really strong awareness of the mind versus the heart. Uranus is our higher mind. It's our scientific mind. It's our logical mind. It's our rational mind. And Venus is our heart. Okay, so we literally see here this energy of heart versus mind. And this is a healing opportunity. So you're going to notice where you're more focused and how it's not serving you or how it is serving you. If it's not serving you, you're going to be really shown that. And if your mind is ruling your heart and it's not working for you, you're going to be shown that. So this is your opportunity to heal from that and redirect more focus into the heart by breathing into the heart more, doing more heart-inspired things, expressing love more, letting heart walls down, and leaning more into love. And then finally, we have Venus trine Chiron as well. And that is going to be more heart healing for us. Chiron is the wounded healer. It is the one that is helping us to heal our past wounds and traumas, as well as our ancestral traumas. And Venus, of course, bringing in love, beauty, pleasure to help that healing occur. We also have Jupiter sextile Neptune, which is going to be some expansion and abundance when we focus on our dreams through visualization, through meditation, and through setting goals and doing the steps to achieve them. Okay. So essentially, this new moon in Virgo is really an opportunity to ground in all the ways that we've asked to transform. And we're getting all of the huge realizations and opportunities to actually do that. And they're not always comfortable. They're not always really graceful. But if we can stay still, observant, intuitive, and ask for grace through trusting and having faith in our spirit, we will move through it with ease. But this will be a month, and specifically a week, that will make or break us. So make sure that you're aligning more with those positive actions, those healthy habits, those healthy thoughts and emotions, and doing what you need to do to stay in that vibration. Go into nature, connect more to, your meditative and mindfulness strategies, journal, connect to friends who have good energy, stay in and go within if you're feeling not up to going around anybody. Do whatever you need to do to feel the healing you need to have. This is deep healing of the heart. We're cleansing the pains, we're cleansing the problems that have been stored in our heart space. And we've got to let that stuff come up to come out. We've got to let it surface. We've got to purge it all. So that means emotional purging. That means, writing it out. That means moving it out, dancing it out, fighting it out if you want to. Don't fight anybody. Fight like a heavy bag, or fight, the air or whatever. Like do some Tai Chi or some Muay Thai or some, kickboxing workouts or something. But let yourself get that energy out the way you're meant to. And I also really encourage to guard against being hypercritical during this time with the new moon in Virgo, because the Virgo energy tends to be very perfectionist, and we want to avoid that. We also want to avoid any manipulative aspects of the shadow of the Virgo. So guard against that. And your heart is being cracked open this week. So it's going to feel weird. It's going to be very, very vulnerable. I encourage all of you to check out the Brene Brown lecture on Netflix. It's a really awesome speech that she does about vulnerability and courage. So you can check that out. And I think that would be really helpful for everybody to just feel into the courage of being vulnerable and to understand that it's okay to have your heart cracked open, to have this healing experience, to not feel all the way yourself right now, and to have to move through that to get to your true self, and to know that this is a process. we are creating order out of chaos when we use our intuition, when we let our heart heal, when we surrender to what is, and remember that what we're creating in the ether behind the veil is going to be our harvest very soon. And recognizing how everything is connected. Noticing how, your anger at your friend is actually connected to something you haven't healed from your past that has been kind of showing up for you and you've been ignoring. Recognize how your unhealthy eating habits is affecting your emotions. Allow yourself to see how everything is connected, and that's going to help you bring order out of the chaos as well. Other little things, healing through nature with the Virgo new moon, going into nature, meditating in nature. It might be really great to do your new moon rituals in nature, out in a park somewhere. That's going to help you ground as well and feel that connection to Mother Earth. And also send your love and light to Mama Gaia. We really need to do that right now with all the fires happening. I also feel like some earthquakes might be happening soon and some other things like that. So we just want to give our love to her. We want to send really good energy to her. We want to connect to Mother Nature as much as possible. And trust your intuition. Trust your intuition, trust your intuition. That's what's going to make or break you this week. That's what's going to really determine, how you are moving through things with grace. And make sure it's your intuition and not your ego. Really check yourself on that by, asking yourself, okay, is this message actually going to serve my highest good? Is this going to take me into something that is really more connected to my heart, more connected to my success, more connected to the manifestations I've asked for? Or is this actually something that is going to lead me astray or distract me from the goals I've been setting for myself? That's a really great way to know if it's your intuition or not. Okay, let's pull some cards, shall we? How's everybody doing? Director Dank is here. Good to see you. Oh, wow. Sending so much love to your sister, Lego My Ego. I'm just seeing that. Definitely praying for her as well. So many people we're praying for in this reading today. Sending so much light for all of you who are struggling with people who you've lost, or people who you love who are sick or ill or struggling with their own health. We're sending so much love to them. This is a time where that stuff is going to be exposed because of this need for healthy habits to be created in people's lives, more healthy habits to be created. On the new moon this year, that's super exciting. Yes, so that really means that the energy of what we're talking about is going to be amplified in a way for you, but it also is going to be amplified in a positive way where your opportunities are going to really expand you into a new fresh start for yourself. When we have a birthday, when we have a solar return, where our, connection to, we've gone around the earth a full time, and another time this year, we're reconnecting to our light within, we're reconnecting to our spirit, our action energy, our soul power. And so when you're having that on a new moons are all about fresh starts. New moons are all about, starting things from a new place and moving forward with new projects. And so this new moon, because it's in Virgo and because we have a lot of Mars retrograde energy around it, a lot of us aren't going to be able to start the new fresh starts that we want right away. But for you, since it's your birthday and because it's already amplified for your birthday to have a fresh start, you're probably going to have it a little easier in starting some new things, getting inspired and feeling really connected to your new rebirth. We talk so much about the rebirth for this Virgo new moon, and that is really what I'm feeling for you, that this is going to be your great opportunity to feel that rebirth and to really make those grounded, healthy habits and grounded actions to, solidify that rebirth. So happy birthday on Thursday. Super exciting. All right, so let's pull our cards for the week. This is from our Angels of Atlantis cards. We're pulling a beginning of the week card. Beautiful, got that. Healing with the angels, of course, because we have lots of heart healing going on this week and just lots of healing in general. We're calling on healing for all of those who need healing right now. We're calling on healing for all of you who need healing in certain aspects of your life, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. healing from attachments to the material world, all the things we spoke about. There's so much opportunities for healing this week. All right, end of the week card. Let's see what we have. Oh, that's getting all crazy. And these are our spirit messages deck. These ones are really, really charged up right now. And I'm also going to pull a new moon. Let's do the earth cards because it's an earth sign moon for the new moon in Virgo. Beautiful. All right. Beginning of the week card is planetary cycles. Check this out. Really powerful card. Can you guys see that? Yeah. Planetary cycles. So this is really letting us know that everything is a cycle. Everything is in a place of rebirth, of completion, of recognizing how things are coming full circle, recognizing how everything's connected. We talked about that. And really honoring the cycles of your mood, honoring the cycles of your well-being, and getting in alignment with the healthy aspects of that and amplifying that so you can find the cycle, the routine, the practice that is best for your health and your ability to just align with what's best for you. So honoring the cycles, huge for the beginning of the week, the cycles of everything that you're experiencing. Middle of the week is the new love card. I'm sorry this card is so hard to see, you guys. I don't know why we have the light so extra hard to read. So new love. So middle of the week, this is finding new love to focus on. This is going to help battle any discouragement, any upset energy, any anger, frustration, any of those hopeless or helpless feelings from all the transformation and all the tests. Find out what you can focus more love into. How can you bring more love into your communication? Remember, we talked about that. How can you bring more love into your awareness of things in your life? How can you bring more love into your actions, into your heart? Because that is what's going to help you move through the tests even more with grace. And remind yourself too that new love of self as you move into your new paradigms, new love of self as you really honor this process of letting go, new love of self as you, step into facing your fears. All of that is going to bring you new love. All right, the end of the week card. So hard for you guys to read it. I'm sorry. We're going to get the light better next time. This is the Hello from Heaven card. And this is a beautiful, beautiful card. And this is letting us know that our spirit guides, I'm going to hold it back here. Our spirit guides and our loved ones from the other side are calling us forth to let us know that they want to communicate with us, that they're here for us, and that they really are just giving us so much love. For all of you who have recently lost somebody, I see a lot of you've talked about it on this chat. Your loved ones are here from the other side. They're saying hello from heaven. They're okay. They're at peace, and they're sending you love, and they're wanting you to know that they're always with you, and you can always communicate with them and connect with them. And for all of you who have lost a loved one recently or have just been thinking about a loved one that you've lost, you're getting that message as well. Okay. All right. And the new moon in Virgo card. Wow. The Chariot card. Check that out. The Chariot card is powerful. This is our movement card. This is our ability to notice that we have an energetic field that moves with us everywhere we go, whether it's through our physical experience or through our emotional transformations or our mental evolution or our spiritual growth. Our energetic chariot moves with us wherever we go. And this new moon in Virgo is helping us to ground into our chariot of movement energetically. And so we need to let our third eye open. We need to see how we can make big moves spiritually, not so physically, until we start to get those signs to take the move physically. This is really honoring the Merkaba. This is honoring our meditative protective shields, and this is honoring the way in which we're meant to move. This is a 7 card. So 7, again, spirituality, spiritual growth. How are you moving through your spiritual growth? And how can you move more into your spiritual growth during this new moon in Virgo? Okay, so planetary cycles, which is of course tons of astrological energies, and recognizing the cycles of life and the cycles within our own spirit, mind, emotions, physical bodies. And then we have the new love, introducing more love into our life through our actions, our thoughts, our communications, and our expressions to help us get through tests and fears. And hello from heaven, our spirit guides, our loved ones from the other side, letting us know that they're here supporting us and communicating to us always. And then finally, the Chariot for the new moon in Virgo, letting us know that it is important for us to grow and evolve spiritually and move through our own energetic vehicle. All right. I'm so glad I got to connect with all of you. I'm going to see if I can just tap into some of your messages. Yes, love you guys too. So good to see you. Oh, I'm so happy to be here for all of you. And yes, please, please, please let me know if there's anything you all need, if you need any support. I always do one-on-one readings for all of you if you need it. So reach out to me, readingsbyrissa@gmail.com. If you need a general reading, a mediumship reading, cosmic connection reading, energy cleanse, any of those are probably great to do this week because of all the energy going on, whatever you're called to. And also I provide coaching. So if you're wanting to build your intuition, which this is the perfect time, we need our intuition now more than ever. And if you're really interested in stepping into more of your intuitive gifts, navigating your enlightenment journey, if you need a mentor or a guide through that, please reach out to me, readingsbyrissa@gmail.com. I'm here for you, and I cannot wait to help you through whatever you're going through to help you feel completely in your power and purest positive potential. And also, everyone, I will be having my virtual Starseed gathering next Thursday, which is on the new moon. It's so funny because I did not know that I was hosting that event on the new moon until it dawned on me earlier this week. So yes, we have a virtual Starseed gathering on the new moon on the 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Time. Of course, I'm going to be talking about the new moon. Of course, I'm going to be talking about the galactics and pulling some cards and meditating on what they want to speak on for the new moon as well. And that's going to be a very, very fun event. So if you're interested in that, it's only $20 to join. I did put a description in the link of the last reading, and I will do the same for this reading. As soon as it uploads, I will send a link to all of you, or put a link in there for all of you to sign up to that. Just make sure that when you do sign up, because it will be a ticket linked directly to my PayPal, just make sure that in the notes section of the payment, you put your correct email address so I can send you all the information to join the Zoom call. Or if your email address is completely correct on PayPal, then you don't have to worry about it. I'll send it directly there. All right, everyone. Love you. Can't wait to chat with you again soon. And I will be probably all over my Instagram all week, sending you lots of love and added messages and inspiration and motivation for you. So make sure to follow me at Readings by Rissa as well on Insta. I love you all so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I will see you next week, next Sunday, 1:11 p.m. Central Time, right here for another weekly reading. Peace.